to M. Night Shyamalan, man. Y'all know him that makes the movies? Yep. They had a Summer Tuesday here yesterday at iHeart, and he was here with his daughter. And he got a new movie coming out called Trap. And me and Salute Ivy Rivera, she's a personality here. Y'all know Ivy. And she was, we was talking, and she said he was here. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So I told the crowd, do you know that how much of a role he played in the Kendrick Drake beef?
No.
But because Kendrick referenced The Sixth Sense and Euphoria, and at the beginning of Not Like Us, he says, I see dead people. That's The Sixth Sense as well.
Yeah. Movie,
I didn't even know if M. Night Shyamalan knew that. But I put him on blast in front of the whole crowd.
No.
Not on purpose. Just because I got a little excited.
Okay.
Yes, that's
Charlamagne, Shyamalan.
All right. Well, morning, everybody. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning, y'all. How y'all feeling today? Good?
Good.
I see you with your new hair. Okay, Morgan.
Right.
All right. Well, let's
think
get
you
to
the
news.
bitch.
You're not even. Okay. So, y'all, yes. Okay. The Republican National Convention is underway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin this week, and day 2 was action-packed. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley endorsed former President Donald Trump in his re-election bid. During a speech at the RNC, Haley said Trump invited her to speak at the event to show unity. Let's hear more from Nikki Haley at the RNC.
I'll start by making one thing perfectly clear. Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. My message to them is simple. You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him.
So the two had a falling out. I'm sorry, Charlamagne.
No, I was going to say Republicans really don't fall in love. They fall in line. I mean, honestly, all politicians don't fall in love. They fall in line. They have no permanent, friends or enemies, just interests.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the two did have a falling out after Haley failed to clinch her Republican presidential nomination, but on Tuesday she appealed to undecided voters during her speech. She argued that the U.S. would be worse off under a second Biden-Harris term, and let's not forget that she did actually serve as the UN ambassador in the Trump administration. But however, she was very critical of him up until about a few months ago.
I wonder if people that support Nikki will actually listen to her, because a lot of people went to Nikki Haley because she was an alternative to Trump.
Right.
So I actually wonder if they will listen to her.
But that was part of the reason why they said that she was there speaking, because they wanted her followers to, continue on to follow Trump. And that's why she said, you don't necessarily have to agree with everything he does, but just think that he's better than the other option.
Like, as you said, fall in line. And as previously mentioned, security has been heightened at the event. On Monday, Milwaukee police say a man wearing a ski mask was arrested with a gun, and his motive remains unclear. Also, yesterday, police shot and killed a homeless man outside of the security perimeter at the RNC. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman said the officers involved from the incident were from the Columbus Police Department in Ohio.
By the way, if you pull up to a ski mask at an event like that, you just trying to go to jail. You miss your boyfriend or something.
Pretty much asking for it.
You can't pull up. You can't pull up with the poo shiesty to something like that after what we just saw Saturday. And think you're not going to end up in jail. Knock it off.
And speaking of Saturday, the wife of the rally shooting victim, 50-year-old Corey D. Comparator, is refusing President Biden's phone call. Now, speaking to the New York Post, Helen Comparator said she didn't talk to Biden and she doesn't want to talk to him, adding that her late husband was a devout Republican and he would not have wanted her to talk to him. She went on to say, she went on to say, talk about loyalty till death do us part and then some. She went on to say she doesn't have any ill will towards Joe Biden, and she's not one of those people who gets involved in politics. She supports Trump. That's who she's voting for, but she doesn't have any ill will towards Biden. She also admitted that Trump has not called her, but she says he didn't do anything to her husband. A 20-year-old despicable kid did. Helen said the last thing her husband said to her was, get down.
See, I don't, regardless of what side of the aisle you on, you shouldn't refuse a call from the President of the United States of America just because you don't agree with his politics. That's whack. Like, he's calling you as a human being. Okay. Just to give his condolences.
But you hear that a lot. Sometimes when family members die or something happens in this country, a lot of times they feel like it's the president's fault and they don't want to talk to the president.
But she don't feel like that, though. She said she don't feel like that.
Biden wasn't even there.
No, she was saying she doesn't feel like it's Trump's fault. it was the kid, it was the shooter's fault essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trump hasn't called her. Biden has made attempts to call her. Trump has not.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that.
Not that I know of, anyways.
I don't feel like that should be your op in that way. I'm not going to take his call.
I agree
Right.
with you. And I had one question, Morgan, with the homeless person that they shot and killed. Did he have a weapon, or is it just that they just that sense? Oh, he had a weapon. Okay.
Yes, he was yielding 2 knives, and so the Ohio police officers, when they arrived on the scene, of course, they took him out. And that's what happened.
Because I figured everybody's sensitive right now, and if you're gonna be around the RNC and you have any weapon, they're not gonna play with you. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna play with you. All right. Well, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. We'll talk more about what's going on in the next hour. President Biden is talking about black jobs.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Get it off your chest. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now let's get back to some front page news. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Yes, Biden is talking about black jobs. So President Biden is touting his accomplishments that have benefited black Americans while speaking at Las Vegas at the NAACP National Convention. Biden said he focused on groups that needed help the most. Let's hear more from President Biden at the NAACP convention.
Here's what he thinks of black jobs. I love this phrase, black jobs. It tells a lot about the man and about his character. Folks, I know what a black job is. It's the Vice President of the United States. The first black president of America is Barack Obama. It's Vice President Barack. And she's my Vice President. I nominated the first black Secretary of Defense in American history. They're doing one hell of a job. I nominated the first black woman to the United States Supreme Court.
Whoever wrote that knew what he was speaking. Oh, he's going to be at the NAACP. Let me give him some bars that we know going to rip.
Yeah, for sure. So Biden went on to say he's bringing black communities together through infrastructure, adding he's connected disenfranchised black communities and cut black job poverty in half. Now, Biden warned that Donald Trump will undo all of the accomplishments for black Americans if he wins the election in November. Now, this comes as the Washington Post reports President Biden will reportedly endorse changes to the Supreme Court. The legislation establishes term limits for justices and an enforceable code of ethics. Now, the Post also reports he's considering a constitutional amendment to eliminate broad immunity for presidents, which the High Court recently established in the federal election case against Donald Trump. Now, Biden laid out his intentions in a call with the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and the move comes as the Supreme Court has come under scrutiny over alleged ethical lapses involving Justices Thomas and Justice Alito.
It's not about them being under scrutiny for alleged. They are a corrupt court. They are no longer a legitimate institution. And if you just look at all of their recent rulings, you need to ask yourself a simple question. Will we have, is this democracy healthy enough for us to have a free and fair election come November? Because I'm telling you, if Biden does win, right, which I don't know if he can, but if Biden does win and Donald Trump challenges it, when you look at their recent rulings, who the hell do you think that they're going to side with come November? Like, it's really that simple. Mm-hmm. So yes, there needs to be some type of effective resistance against the Supreme Court. They need to be calling the Supreme Court out, calling them an illegitimate institution, and they need to be doing everything in their power to do something about the Supreme Court.
Some types of checks and balances.
Absolutely.
So you know who else is calling people out? Vice President Kamala Harris. She's calling out Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance to accept a proposed debate hosted by CBS News. Now, the Biden-Harris campaign said the vice president called the Ohio senator and left a message after being chosen by former President Trump to be his running mate. Harris congratulated Vance and welcomed him to the race. Now, in May, Trump said his campaign has agreed to take part in a vice presidential debate hosted by Fox News. He did not mention anything that was proposed by CBS News. So we will see how that plans.
Vice President Kamala Harris will wipe her ass with J.D. Vance. That is where she actually shines. You know, I think all of y'all remember when she went up against Mike Pence. You know, if you remember her, even back in the day, you know, in those Senate hearings, the way she used to get at people, like she really does shine in those moments. So yeah.
Excuse me, I'm speaking.
Let me ask you guys a question. With them on the campaign trail so tough and so hard, who's running the White House? Because I haven't seen them back in D.C. in a long time. It just seemed like they on the road every day.
They are definitely on the road. I was gonna say, is people still there?
Okay, is somebody there? All right, because
there's no way y'all can possibly think that in America,
Jill be holding it down.
You really think in America in 2024 they can't do two things at once?
it just seemed like they early on the campaign trail. It just seems usually it's a lot later, but now it just seems like they've been on the campaign trail for a long ass time.
I don't think it's early at all. But the interesting thing is at the debate, not at the debate. What was President Biden? Well, he said the campaign hadn't even started yet. What did he speak? I forgot. At the press conference, he said the campaign hasn't even really started yet. They don't usually start until September, which I thought was odd for him to say. And, you know, at the time, if you're going to say that, all that's going to do is make people say, well, since the campaign hasn't started yet, let's get you out the way then and put a new candidate in so we can get the campaign started. I just thought that I didn't think that was a smart thing for him to say. Because you never stop campaigning, right?
Yeah, no, never. But this just seems like very early and extra. Like it just seems like a lot so early. But I guess it's needed.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's your front page news.
All right. Thank you so much.
Follow me on social at Morgan Media and be sure to catch more news coverage at the Black Information Network at BINnews.com.
All right. Thank you, Morgan.
Thanks, Morgan.
Thank y'all.
Now, when we come back, comedian Keith Robinson will be joining us. Now, Keith Robinson is one of Kevin Hart's mentors. He's from Philly, funny ass dude, and he has a special on Netflix. It's called Different Strokes. Now,
he suffered from two strokes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you'll understand you'll understand when we come back. But just remember, he suffered from 2 strokes, and we'll talk to him when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.